Good evening. This is Bronson's By Any Means Necessary fantasy football talk for Thursday, October 28th. I don't know why I was tired. I got plenty of sleep last night, but I just woke up from a nap and I'm still. It doesn't matter if I sleep 2 hours, 10 hours, 8 hours, 6 hours. I still wake up the same way every time I wake up. It takes me a little while to get going, but I wanted to try to get this video in and posted before the game starts in about an hour. This is my running back spikes and yikes. And overall, I'm actually pretty happy with the running backs. I feel like I'm getting a little bit nitpicky with running back yikes. I'm pretty happy with where they're ranked. But there's a lot of guys who I would spike a little bit more, just from where they are. But I have a duty to fulfill, so I'm trying to do it. For the yikes at the running back position for week 8, Nick Chubb at 12 versus the Steelers. I know Nick Chubb's supposed to be back, which is great news for those of us who have Nick Chubb. He would have been very useful for us last week. I'm not sure he's going to get a full workload, and even when he has got a full workload, he hasn't been the Nick Chubb that we kind of anticipated he would be. So having him as a high-end running back too still seems a little high. I think that Dearness Johnson, who we'll talk about later, has earned. He played really well. He surprised me. I thought he was no good, but he looked pretty good. I think he's earned the right to kind of eat into more of Kareem Hunt's snaps that Kareem Hunt was getting, and which is gonna keep Nick Chubb, his volume relatively low, especially since he's coming back from an injury. I'm not anticipating Chubb getting anywhere near 100% of the snaps in this game. Next, at 22, Devontae Booker of the Giants at the Chiefs. I understand the Chiefs' defense is terrible, but I also really feel like the Chiefs are going to come out firing on all cylinders on offense in this game, and the Giants are going to fall behind quickly. They're going to abandon the run game, and I know Devontae Booker is involved in the passing game, so the work and the volume could still possibly be there for him. I don't think he's very good. So, I know 22 is kind of in the flex play conversation anyway, the high-end flex play conversation. Just based on volume alone, he should be a flex play, but I don't think 22. I think 22 is a little high. I'd probably have him some more of a mid to low end flex plays. Again, see, I'm being a little nitpicky at this point. 23, we got Antonio Gibson. Antonio Gibson at the Broncos. I believe in Antonio Gibson's talent. I believe in him long term. A lot of people thought this was going to be a big year. Obviously, they overhyped him. He's dealing with an injury. That shin injury is not going to go away. He's probably going to be dealing with that all year. It's going to limit his effectiveness all year. He hasn't looked great the past couple of weeks. I'm not sure that's going to change this week against a good defense. Antonio Gibson is not a flex play, not in the flex conversation for me this week. Okay. Yes, he is in the flex play conversation. You have a guy like Antonio Gibson, he's always in the conversation. However, I'm leaning towards benching him in all the leagues in which I own him. So I don't have him at 23. Again, as with Booker, that's a high-end flex play. I've got him as a low-end flex play. And lastly, Melvin Gordon at 28 of the Broncos versus the Washington football team. I think we saw the change in the guard last week. Javonte Williams is going to take over that backfield, which we were all kind of anticipating anyway. And really, I don't get it. I get it. Javonte Williams has looked better this year. Other than week 1, Melvin Gordon hasn't looked great. I get it. But at the same time, I don't get it. I think Melvin Gordon's a really talented running back. And I think he's been disrespected by multiple teams now. And I don't really understand why nobody seems to want Melvin Gordon as a running back. But because I think he's good. I think he's definitely a guy who should get more than 50% of the snaps in a backfield. However, the fact of the matter is Javonte Williams has looked better this year. Javonte Williams was drafted to replace him. Melvin Gordon, his work is only going to dwindle down. And at 28, I know that's a low in flex play, but I wouldn't have Melvin Gordon in the flex conversation for this week. Now, for the running backs I like to spike, we're going to start staying in the Denver backfield here. Javonte Williams at 26. That's mid-tier flex play. I think we saw last week that he's ready to perform on the big stage. He's ready to take over. I got him as a low-end running back too for the week. That's in the top 20, folks. Javonte Williams should be in your lineups. No doubt, no doubter start this week for me. Next, James Conner at 30 versus the Packers. James Conner is at the top of the list in rushing touchdowns in the NFL this year. James Conner honestly has been more effective of a running back fantasy-wise than Chase Edmonds. Having James Conner at 30 is really low. I would have James Conner at the top end of the flex conversation just because the volume isn't really there for him. But in goal-to-go situations, which the Cardinals find themselves in quite often, James Conner is the running back they like down there. James Conner is a weekly flex, in the running back 2 conversation weekly, but definitely a flex play every single week. And that's no different this week against the Packers and what many are anticipating will be a Cardinals blowout. And even if it's not, James Conner is going to have an important role in that game, barring injury. Next, Boston's got 38, Eagles at Lions. I think both Eagles running backs, until we kind of see how that situation is going to go, they're both in the flex conversation this week as they both look decently effective in their limited work last week. They both have looked better in limited work than Miles Sanders has. And Boston Scott honestly has looked better the last 3 years than Miles Sanders. So having Boston Scott at 38 seems criminal. I think he's in the top 20, maybe not top 25, but he's in the top 30 for sure. I would have him. I would play Boston Scott in the flex over Antonio Gibson or Melvin Gordon if I was in the situation. Probably Devontae Booker too. So, those are all the guys that I yiked. And lastly, Dearness Johnson sitting at 40 for the week. Again, Cleveland's versus Pittsburgh. And again, Dearness Johnson showed us that he can play. He showed us that he deserves more work. And they do need... Cleveland does love to run the ball. They do love to split the work. Dearness Johnson has proven that he deserves to step into that role while Kareem Hunt is injured, and perhaps long-term, be that for whether it be in Cleveland or another team. And so having him at 40 seems ridiculous. I don't know. I think I would probably start him this week, low in flex. Just again, I think he's gonna take over the Kareem Hunt role, and we were starting Kareem Hunt almost weekly, or pretty much weekly as a flex. Sometimes he was a running back too. Dearness Johnson, not as talented as Kareem Hunt, but the work could be there for him, and it should be. I would have him in the top 30 for the week, and I would be strongly considering him in my flex this week if I had him, which I think I still do. I don't think I dropped him. Pretty sure I got him in a couple of leagues. I don't know. I haven't looked that far ahead. I only went through my lineups today and put in the guys who are playing on Thursday. But I do think I recall seeing Dearness Johnson in a couple of leagues, and I will have to consider him strongly for my flex, as should you this week. So, all right, let's end this. Let's get this posted as soon as possible because the game starts soon. I want to get myself woken up because I do want to go watch this one. I haven't been watching a lot of football live in the last couple of weeks. I just haven't really liked the games that have been offered on national television, but I do want to see this one, and I did get paid today, so I got some money to go blow at the bar. So peace, love, and nacho fries. Good luck.